By the end of this day, this town would never be the same. A 14-year-old girl is missing. Her name is Kylie Toberman. Her family contacts authorities at 6:30 in the morning. The entire community mobilizes. Search parties form. Social media explodes with her photo. Everyone is looking for Kylie. But here's what they didn't know. Kylie never left the property. Her body was discovered in a storage container 50 feet from her bedroom window. And the person who reported her missing? He was the one responsible for her passing. This isn't just the story of a tragedy. This is the story of a system that had multiple chances to save a child's life and didn't. Because people tried to warn them. Again, and again, and again. By the time you finish watching this video, you're going to know exactly how many warnings were ignored, exactly who had the power to save her, and exactly why they didn't. My name is Luis, and this is the Kylie Toberman case. Let me tell you about Kylie the way her friends remember her. 14 years old, Vandalia Junior High School. Member of the wrestling team, and this is important, she'd just been voted Most Improved Wrestler by her teammates. Her biological mother, Megan Zeller, describes her as brilliant and sassy. Her grandmother says she was very energetic, very happy all the time. Her best friend since preschool, Caitlin, says no one ever had a bad thing to say about Kylie because she was such a joy to be around. Pink was her favorite color. Now, you might be wondering why I'm telling you she was adopted, why I'm mentioning her biological mother, why these details matter. Because Kylie's life was shaped by systems that were supposed to protect her. And understanding how she ended up in that house with that individual on that day, that's where this story really begins. Kylie's biological father passed away from substance-related complications. Her biological mother, Megan, struggled. By most accounts, she was young and overwhelmed. The state stepped in. In 2018, when Kylie was just 7 years old, she and her two younger sisters, Camilla and Cora, were legally adopted by their grandmother, Donna Toberman. On paper, this was a happy ending. 3 little girls kept together, raised by family, case closed. The Department of Children and Family Services, DCFS, closed its file. Their legal responsibility ended. But Donna Toberman had a son. His name was Arnold Rivera Jr., and in the year 2000, Arnold Rivera was charged with criminal offenses related to the welfare of a minor between the ages of 9 and 16. Now, before we go any further, I need you to hold that information in your mind, because we're going to come back to it. We're going to talk about what happened with those charges. We're going to talk about how that factors into what happens next. But first, I need to take you to November 15th, 2025. It's November. Kylie is 14 years old. She's living in a house in Vandalia with her adoptive mother, Donna, and her 2 younger sisters. They're in a residential neighborhood, normal American street. And behind the house, there's an RV, a recreational vehicle parked on the property. Arnold Rivera Jr., now 43 years old, lives in that RV. And here's the detail that's going to haunt you. For the past 2 months, while Donna underwent medical treatment, Arnold had been acting as Kylie's primary caretaker. The individual with a conviction related to harm against minors was alone with 3 young girls for 2 months. Before we continue with what happened next, I need to pause for something important. If this story matters to you, if you believe Kylie's case needs to be heard, please hit the like button and subscribe. But more importantly, share this video. Every share reaches someone who might recognize these warning signs. Every share could save a child's life. In the comments, drop your city and what time you're watching. This helps me publish these investigations when they'll reach the most people, because the more eyes on cases like this, the more children we can protect. If you want to directly support investigations like this one, you can use Super Thanks below this video or join as a channel member. Your support allows me to dedicate the time needed to research these complex cases thoroughly and advocate for real change. This channel exists to tell the stories of children who needed protection and didn't get it. Each investigation isn't just about tragedy. It's a lesson in recognizing dangerous situations before it's too late. I encourage you to watch the other videos on this channel because understanding cases like Kylie's could help you spot warning signs and intervene for a child who's in danger right now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. Now, let's continue with what happened to Kylie. Friday morning, November 15th, 6:30 a.m. Someone contacts 911. Kylie Toberman is missing. The Vandalia Police Department receives the report and immediately issues an alert. In a town of 7,400 people, news travels fast. Social media explodes. Online community groups light up. Neighbors join the search. Everyone who knows Kylie is desperately trying to find her. Her last confirmed sighting was the night before at around 9 p.m. Now, here's something the public didn't know during those frantic morning hours. Something that would only come out later in court documents. The person who filed that report, the one who told police Kylie was gone, it was Arnold Rivera. For 8 hours, this community searched. 8 hours of checking nearby areas, posting flyers, calling her name. 8 hours of Kylie's grandmother Leanne thinking they were going to find her granddaughter safe. 8 hours of Kylie's 2 younger sisters, remember, they're just children themselves, waiting for their big sister to come home. 8 hours of hope slowly turning into dread. And then, that afternoon, police made the discovery. Kylie's body was located in a blue storage container, inside a secured RV, in her own backyard, 50 feet from where she slept. She never left the property. While her community searched, while her family prayed, while hundreds of people spread her photo across social media, she was right there, hidden in plain sight. And here's the part that's almost unbearable to think about. Her 2 younger sisters, Camilla and Cora, were present when police found her body. According to their grandmother, they witnessed the moment their world shattered. These are children, and they had to see that. Arnold Rivera Jr. was taken into custody within hours of the body being discovered. And on Sunday, November 17th, he was formally charged. 2 counts of first-degree unlawful termination of life. 2 counts of aggravated criminal offenses of an intimate nature. 1 count of concealing a death. But here's what we haven't talked about yet. Here's the question everyone in that courtroom wanted answered. What exactly happened to Kylie? The family didn't know. Kylie's paternal grandmother, Lisa Richards, would later say that Monday's court hearing was the first time she heard the details of her granddaughter's passing. The first time she understood what had been done to this child, and what she heard, what the charging documents revealed. It was worse than anyone imagined. Before I continue, I need to give you a content warning. The next few minutes contain details about violence and harm against a minor. I'm going to handle this information with the clinical respect it deserves. I'm not going to be graphic. But I am going to tell you what the evidence shows, because understanding what happened to Kylie is essential to understanding why the system's failure is so unconscionable. If you need to skip ahead, timestamps are in the description. But I encourage you to stay, because Kylie's story deserves to be heard. Monday, November 18th. Fayette County Courthouse, Vandalia. The courtroom fills with family members, friends, community members. They're there for Arnold Rivera's first appearance. But most of them have no idea what they're about to hear. State Attorney Brenda Mathis presents the charges. And for the first time, the details emerge. According to charging documents, here's what investigators believe happened. Kylie and Arnold were together in a vehicle. At some point during that night, investigators believe it was the night of November 14th into the early hours of November 15th, Arnold committed acts of harm against Kylie. And then he took her life. The method was strangulation. The medical examination would confirm the cause. After this occurred, Arnold placed Kylie's body inside a blue storage container. He then moved that container into his RV, the RV where he lived, just yards from the house where Kylie's sisters slept. And then, in the morning, he reported her missing. In that courtroom, family members heard these details for the first time. Lisa Richards, Kylie's paternal grandmother, would later tell reporters, "We were just now educated of the manner of her passing and the disrespect to her body, and it should have never happened." Megan Zeller, Kylie's biological mother, was devastated. She would post online, "I will not shut up or stop till my child gets justice." Caitlin Schellenbarger, Kylie's friend since preschool, was in that courtroom. She would later say, "It broke my heart because she shouldn't have had to go through that. She was the sweetest person, and she had so much life left to live. She was only 14 years old." The judge denied Rivera's pretrial release. The decision was immediate and unequivocal. Arnold Rivera poses a danger to the community. He's being held without bond in the Fayette County facility, awaiting trial. But here's where this story takes a turn that's going to make you angry. Because the question isn't just who is responsible for Kylie Toberman's passing. The real question is, how was a convicted offender against minors allowed to be the sole caretaker of 3 young girls? Remember at the beginning when I told you Arnold Rivera was charged in the year 2000 with criminal offenses against a child between ages 9 and 16? Remember how I said we'd come back to that? Well, here we are. In the year 2000, 25 years before Kylie's passing, prosecutors had Arnold Rivera on charges involving harm to a minor, as well as burglary charges. These were serious felonies. But here's what happened. In exchange for an admission of guilt to aggravated battery, the prosecution dismissed the charges related to minors. Let me say that again, because it's important. The charges involving minors were dismissed as part of an agreement. Arnold Rivera was sentenced to 30 months of probation for the battery charge. He later violated probation and received 24 additional months for possession of a stolen vehicle. But on paper, legally speaking, Arnold Rivera was not on any registry. The charges that would have put him on that registry were dismissed. So when he moved into that RV behind his mother's house, the house where his 3 young adopted sisters lived, there was no legal barrier preventing it. No background check flagging him as a concern. No system saying, wait, this individual shouldn't be around children. But here's what's going to really haunt you. Here's the part that shows this wasn't just a case of no one knew. People did know. People tried to warn the authorities. Multiple people, multiple times, for months before Kylie passed away. And the system ignored every single warning. Caitlin Schellenbarger, Kylie's friend, was in that courtroom Monday. And afterward, she spoke to reporters. What she said should concern every single person who cares about child safety. Quote, "Kylie had so many DCFS reports about the situation, and they just brushed it off because Kylie wouldn't speak up." Let me break down what that means. Multiple people filed reports with the Department of Children and Family Services about Kylie's situation. According to family members, these reports were filed several times since January 2025. That's 11 months of warnings. Several different people made these reports. This wasn't one concerned caller who might have been mistaken. This was multiple independent sources all saying the same thing: something is wrong in that house. But here's the catch-22 that cost Kylie her life. DCFS protocol typically requires the child to speak up, to testify, to confirm concerns. It's a standard designed to protect against false accusations. But Kylie was too afraid to speak. She couldn't or wouldn't confirm what was happening to her. Maybe she was threatened. Maybe she was protecting her younger sisters. Maybe she was just a terrified 14-year-old girl trapped in an impossible situation. So DCFS, according to multiple sources, brushed it off. Caitlin said it best. "I think that's a big problem. You advocate for your siblings, cousins, and family. But if they can't speak up for themselves because they're too scared, nothing gets done at all." Now DCFS has released a statement. They said, and I'm reading directly from their official response, "Kylie Toberman has not been in the care of DCFS since 2018, after which she was adopted. Here's what that means. Once the adoption was finalized in 2018, DCFS's legal responsibility ended. They closed the case. In the eyes of the system, this was a success story. 3 sisters kept together, raised by family. But there's something else you need to know, something that shows how troubled this family situation really was, even before Kylie's passing. Court records from 2019 show that Arnold Rivera himself tried to file a protective order against his own mother, Donna Toberman. The reason? She had threatened to contact DCFS regarding him. Think about that. The individual who would eventually harm Kylie was in conflict with his mother about DCFS involvement 3 years before this tragedy. Warning signs were everywhere. Let me lay out for you exactly how many systems failed Kylie Toberman, because it wasn't just one. It was a cascade of failures, each one compounding the last. Failure number 1, the justice system in 2000. When prosecutors dismissed the charges related to minors against Arnold Rivera, in exchange for a plea agreement, they removed him from any registry. This meant no tracking, no restrictions, no flags in the system. Failure number 2, the adoption system. When Kylie was adopted in 2018, the courts closed DCFS oversight. No background checks were conducted on other adults in the household, including Arnold Rivera, who lived on the same property. Failure number 3, DCFS protocol. When multiple reports were filed in 2025, DCFS required Kylie to speak up to substantiate claims. When she couldn't, because she was too afraid, the reports went nowhere. Failure number 4, family dynamics ignored. Even though court records showed Arnold and Donna in conflict about DCFS in 2019, even though Arnold was trying to get a protective order, no one investigated why a grown individual was so concerned about child services involvement. Failure number 5, caretaker authorization. No system prevented Arnold Rivera, an individual with a violent criminal history, from becoming the sole caretaker of 3 young girls for 2 months while their adoptive mother recovered from medical treatment. In the days following Kylie's passing, Vandalia Junior High School became a sea of pink. Students wore pink, Kylie's favorite color, to honor her memory. The wrestling team released a statement. "It is with a heavy heart that we share the news that we lost one of our wrestlers, Kylie Toberman. Our team and community are grieving the loss of such a sweet and bright young girl." Crisis counselors were brought in. A moment of silence was held. Kylie's grandmother, Leanne Deweese, ordered T-shirts that say, "Justice for Kylie." She told reporters, "I want justice done for Kylie. I want to see that for her." But justice for Kylie isn't just about Arnold Rivera facing legal consequences. It's about making sure this never happens to another child. Illinois Senator Terry Bryant has called for an investigation into what went wrong. She's asking the hard questions. Should courts investigate adoptions more thoroughly? Should DCFS maintain some level of oversight even after adoption in high-risk cases? Should there be mandatory background checks for all adults in a household, not just the adoptive parents? These are good questions, but I want to propose specific solutions. 1. Mandatory background checks for every adult living in a home with adopted children, including family members in separate structures on the same property. 2. A policy requiring investigation when multiple independent reports are filed, regardless of whether the child speaks up. If 3 different people report concerns, that should trigger mandatory action. 3. Continued DCFS check-ins for a minimum of 5 years after adoption in cases where children were removed from their biological parents. Not full case management, but regular wellness visits. 4. Training for social workers on recognizing signs when children are too afraid to speak. Behavioral indicators. Changes in performance at school. Isolation. These signs exist. We need to teach people to see them. Arnold Rivera is scheduled to appear in court again on November 25, 2025. He faces life imprisonment if convicted on the charges, given the evidence, the body found in his RV, the forensic evidence, the timeline. Conviction seems likely. But you know what? Even if Arnold Rivera spends the rest of his life behind bars, even if he's convicted on every single charge, that doesn't change the fact that Kylie Toberman should still be alive. She should be at wrestling practice right now. She should be planning for high school. She should be laughing with her friends, hugging her sisters, living the life that a 14-year-old girl deserves to live. Instead, her community wore pink and cried. Her sisters have to grow up without her. Her biological mother has to live with the knowledge that the adoption she agreed to, thinking it would keep her daughters safe, put them directly in harm's way. At the beginning of this video, I told you this was the story of a system that had multiple chances to save a child's life and didn't. Now you know exactly how many chances. A criminal justice system that dismissed charges related to minors in 2000. An adoption system that ended oversight in 2018. A child services agency that received multiple reports in 2025 and took no action. 11 months. Multiple reports, multiple people trying to save her. And Kylie Toberman was too afraid to speak up for herself, so the system looked the other way. She was failed by everyone at every level. If you're watching this video and you work in child services, in social work, in family court, I need you to think about Kylie. I need you to think about what happens when you follow protocol instead of following your instincts. When you wait for a child to speak up instead of reading the signs they can't put into words. If you're watching this and you know a child who might be in danger, I'm asking you, don't assume someone else will report it. Don't wait for the child to speak up. Make the call, file the report. Be persistent. Be insistent if you have to be, because somewhere out there, right now, there's another Kylie. Another child who's too afraid to ask for help. And maybe, just maybe, your call will be the one that saves them. If you or someone you know needs help, here are resources. The National Hotline for Concerns Related to Intimate Violence, 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-4673. Available 24/7. The Child Help National Hotline for Concerns about Youth Welfare, 1-800-422-4453. Also 24/7. These numbers are in the description. Share them, save them, use them if you need to. Arnold Rivera's next court date is November 25th. I'll be following this case and will update you when there are significant developments. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that coverage. Kylie Toberman was 14 years old. She loved wrestling. She loved her sisters. Pink was her favorite color. She deserved better than this. Rest in peace, Kylie. Your story will not be forgotten.